Wellness or fitness in general has always been about how do I lose weight or how do I build muscle and look in a certain way. Pilates brings a lot more to the table. It brings another form of strength, connecting your mind to your body and figuring out a different form of strength without the external pressure on looking in a certain way. That brings an internal power to a woman. That mind-body connection is deep.
I think the unique thing, as you've just mentioned, is it's not competing against anyone. It's you.
It's you getting better
yourself.
every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is where we need to be focused as humans. I'm not competing with the world. I'm just trying to get better. Trust your abilities and you'll just become unstoppable.
Welcome to Sheconomy, the podcast dedicated to celebrating the rising influence of women in today's economy. I'm your host, Sophia. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Rima Faour, a dynamic entrepreneur, fitness advocate, and founder of MyCore Studio, a boutique fitness space refining wellness in Dubai. Rima, congratulations on the 3rd anniversary of your Pilates studio.
Yes, we've been up and running for 3 years. Thank you, Sophia, for having me.
So it's a remarkable milestone. Let's start with what inspired you to open a Pilates space 3 years ago.
I love Pilates in my body. It did wonders to my body. And it was as simple as wanting to share this through a platform with the rest of the community.
Nice. So transitioning from a successful tech career to the wellness industry is a bold move. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
Talent. I think hiring and recruiting is very different in a corporate world than it is in the wellness industry. And not that there's a lack of talent. I think it's just the dynamics of hiring, the dynamics of freelancing, the dynamics of getting people committed a little bit more. The market seems to always have this, oh, this is a part-time job or something I do on the side, versus I'm committed to the job. And there's a certain discipline that was lacking when I started. It took me a while, but here we are. A great team, committed team, and we do wonders at MyCore. Yeah.
Amazing. So you've spoken about working with a marketing research agency to identify market gaps before launching. What key insights shaped your approach to creating MyCore Studio?
Two things came up. A lot of came up, but two things were shaped our products, our offerings, and the way we market MyCore as well. So one, diversity, and two, themes. So diversity in the sense, Pilates and yoga has always been perceived for women, for longer women, a certain body type, certain even class in the society, right? It was that specific, and it was always perceived as that. And through the focus groups, it was like, okay, why are men not engaging? Because all they see is women who look alike. Are doing the same moves on those specific machines, right? So that shaped up how much I wanted to, and I've experienced it a lot because I used to go to studios and feel exactly the same way, and feel kind of like intimidated by, oh my God, they're so strong, and how can I do this, right? So that by itself was a big takeaway from all this research and the focus groups and the people that we talked to in the surveys. The other one was variety. Specifically talking to specific groups. So we've got, for example, now, and that shaped my offerings, right? So we have teenagers classes. Nice. We've got classes for people specifically with back pain, people with posture problems, people who want strength through Pilates, pre-postnatal, right? We had to a very long, for a very long time, senior Pilates as well. So those themes, those differentiators, those programs, if you could say, are very specific and require a lot of planning, a lot of marketing in that specific way to kind of also expand the market, right? And to kind of reach out to people and say, Pilates is for everybody. It's for every ability. and it's for every gender, you know, and every class from the society, whether you work, not work. Because when I was going to, I used to work, right? When I was going to Pilates classes, it was either at 9:30 in the morning or 11 in the morning, which was in the middle of my working day. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, do you have after work? No, the instructors are, you know, they don't work at night. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that is a limitation. So all these things that through the marketing agency were coming out as well, were very personal as well. And probably this is why they stand out with me right now.
That's interesting. So you've created bespoke segments, I guess, for different people who can then feel comfortable coming along because you have something specific for them.
Yeah. Just because you have a disc, you know, in your spine and you have pain doesn't mean you'll just be sitting for the rest of your life. Yeah. You've got to move. Movement is good for you, but you got to work with somebody who knows how to get you to move and knows how to build your core and who knows how to, you know, release that pain along with your physiotherapist. So we have those relationships with physiotherapists as well. And, you know, our trainers most of the time are trained to help people and rehabilitate them.
That's great. Really good to hear. So on a general level, what advice would you give someone considering starting a business here?
Wow. Do it. I think if there's any city, I mean, and I'm a little bit biased, I grew up here and I call Dubai home. I think do it. I think Dubai is a great incubator for starting a business. You know, the process is not that complicated. The support that you'll get from the community is just fantastic. And I think just do it. I have a good why you're starting something. Yeah. Very true. Believe in it and just go for it. I think it'll be rewarding, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, amazing. And so when starting your Pilates studio, did you anticipate the need for creating reels and be the face of your business online? And how crucial has that been?
I did not. I really did not. I was a talent discovered at some point. I had a collaboration with somebody and he said, "You're very natural on this." I'm like, "No, I'm not." You know, like I froze in front of the camera so many times. But I mean, I'm big on social media. I think everybody today in our industry has to be. I mean, it's one way of conveying a lot of you as well as what you're trying to bring to the industry. It's one of those ways, right? So it's crucial. There's no question there. But I think just, you know, being on camera, getting all these interesting topics to talk about as well, and differentiate your social media from others is also not easy. It's not an easy job, right? I choose humor all the time. I choose fun all the time because that's how I operate as a human. So I wanted to make sure that was part of, you know, my strategy. And yeah, finding that thin line between bringing value to the viewer plus being just fun and putting something together has been a journey. I don't think we've figured everything out yet, but we're there, we're trying, and you know, we're pushing to kind of get that perfect mix. But yeah, I didn't anticipate that I was going to be that phase. And but I truly feel like, oh my God, why didn't I start this earlier? Because it's doing wonders for my business and the connections that I'm building online, offline. So it's very well needed, definitely.
And I think in any business really, but especially a personal service business where they want to see the person behind that business. They don't just want to hear about it. They want to hear from the person that's running it. And so I think it makes a massive impact if you
and they understand things a lot better now. Like what's happening in the studio? Why is it happening in certain ways? They know, like, oh my God, Rima came up with this, didn't she? Right? Whether good or bad. And we always talk about being a small community, a homey feeling as a studio. And I think just being there most of the time has enhanced that, whether in the studio or online. I think now it's enhanced that differentiator as well, because obviously not all studios are run that way. But we will continue to run it that way.
Nice, love it. So moving on then, Pilates generally trendy fitness or life-changing practice? So Pilates has been seen 108 or has seen 108% increase in global searches over the past 5 years. Why do you think it's resonating with so many people, and how does MyCore Studio differentiate itself in this market?
The beauty of Pilates is it honors what it promises. Be it strength, be it mobility, be it flexibility, you get those results. And I think people have, over the past years, become more aware of the importance of health, of wellness, and especially after COVID, people are more like, okay, I need to move. I need to do something more about my health. I need to get my act together, really, right?
True.
Let's face it, not everybody wants to jump on boxes in CrossFit, and not everybody wants to lift weights, right? So people are finding more and more ways to move their bodies that they haven't necessarily found themselves enjoying in previous times. So I feel like, because it's proven its worth, and it helps the body, it helps you mentally and physically, and with the stress going on, everybody has so much on their plate. And I think the beauty of Pilates is it just keeps the promise, and it keeps it not only physical but also mental. And that's I think that's what people are loving about it.
So many fitness trends come and go, but Pilates has endured for decades. What do you think gives it such a staying power?
It's an interesting form of movement with the least amount of injuries, and that is sustainable for years. Meaning, I do boxing, I don't know if I'm going to still have the shoulders and arms and joints for boxing when I'm not a professional boxer or anything. But, as I age, I need 3 days to recover from a boxing session, With Pilates, it's something you can probably do every day. It doesn't break your body. And it does what it needs to do. And can be sustained for longer time and as a lifestyle. And I think and it's not just a trend. It's not, I jump on a box, I take a couple of videos, and then, oh great, I'm a Pilates professional now. It's a longer term. People are understanding that this is not a journey you take for a year or two. This is something you can do at any age, at any time, right? I think that has proven itself for years now, and people are just continuing to try and get into it.
Thank you for that. So moving on a little bit, in terms of family, so your father's entrepreneurial journey was a source of inspiration for you. How do you hope your daughters will view your own story as a businesswoman and leader?
I have 2 daughters, 15 and 6. I think the 15-year-old gets it. The 6-year-old is like, why do you have to be at work, right? And it's very different. I think I don't necessarily aspire for my daughters to be entrepreneurs. I feel like I will support whatever they want to be. What I really aspire to is looking at this mother of theirs leading people, breaking barriers, because it's not every day that you come from an IT world and then you become a Pilates instructor. And I feel like I want them to feel that they can do whatever they need to be doing, whatever they feel comfortable doing, push through barriers, and lead with kindness, because that is very important. I aspire to bring good human beings to this world. And that's what I want them to learn throughout the journey, because, leading by example is very hard, by the way. And I hope they're watching and observing and kind of taking that with them.
I'm sure they are. And I'm sure they're, the influence that you're giving them in terms of, this is my mother, this is what she's doing. And as you say, pushing through those boundaries and barriers, and making yourself creating your own name and a fantastic business as well along the way. So wellness practices like Pilates promote both physical and mental strength. How do you believe they can empower women, including your daughters, to feel confident in their own skin?
Wellness or fitness in general has always been about how do I lose weight or how do I build muscle and look in a certain way. Pilates brings a lot more to the table. It brings another form of strength, connecting your mind to your body and figuring out a different form of strength without the external pressure on looking in a certain way or shredding in a certain way, right? That brings an internal power to a woman or anybody who practices Pilates, and very quickly practitioners figure that out. That mind-body connection is deep. You're looking internally into what your body can achieve every single day. And there's something that you're pushing through internally, and it's a highly non-competitive exercise, right? So it's your body, and how much you can achieve the next day is and how much stronger next month you are is what keeps you going, probably. And it's beautiful in that sense.
And I think the unique thing, as you've just mentioned, is it's not competing against anyone. It's you
getting better
yourself.
Every day.
Absolutely.
It's and this is where we need to be focused as humans. I'm not competing with the world. I'm just trying to get better in the happiest way possible.
So what's one core value or piece of advice you hope to pass on to the next generation of women in your family or community?
Trust your abilities and you'll just become unstoppable. As soon as you know your value, you put your value out there and you truly trust it deep in there, magic just starts happening. You just get to everything that you want to get. It's as simple as that. But knowing our value and sticking to that without the external validation that we're constantly looking for, especially in the world of social media today and the world we live in, is also not easy. But figuring that out is key. It's helped me. We're not born with it. But I really hope I can try to pass that down to every woman or even man out there, because my daughters definitely.
Nice. I like that. Simple but to the point. Just stick to your value. And amazing. So moving on then, your health journey started with a wake-up call in your late 20s. How did that pivotal moment shape your perspective on self-care and wellness?
My journey has been, it hasn't been a secret, from obese to a Pilates instructor to a platform where I help people every day, connect and get stronger. It's been a journey. I think it's a shift in the mindset. What's helped me over these past years is moving from a reactive outlook on self-care to a proactive outlook on self-care. So previously I was living in, I'll go to the gym because I want to lose these 5 kilos. Today I go to the gym or I go and do Pilates because I want to feel stronger, I want to move better, and I want to live longer in a very good working body. I used to live on, I have to go on vacation because I'm burnt out. And that's very reactive again. So today I live in, I want to go on vacation because I want to create memories and because I want to recharge and I want to come back to do even more.
Lovely.
And that mindset to self-care is very important. Prioritizing self-care is important. And I always talk about it with our clients, and I'm like, don't tell me you don't have time for yourself. And I always talk about it in social gatherings where I have a very famous line that says, happy me, happy all of you guys. And because as mothers, especially as mothers, when a mother is taking care of herself and she's mentally, emotionally, physically strong, she can take care of everybody else. Yeah.
Very true.
But when you're drowning, you're not doing anyone any favors. Yeah. So I think that mindset shift has helped me dramatically. And it came through, you know, like really down there moments, right?
Yeah.
Where you at 28 are pre-diabetic, obese, like you're struggling with your own health at 28. I'm like, what life am I going to have at 40? Yeah. And today at 40, I feel, you know, a lot stronger than I ever was and a lot healthier than I ever was. So, and that's just great. It's just that mindset shift.
You look great. So
thank you.
Yeah. So many people face challenges accepting the changes their bodies go through over time. What's been the most surprising thing you've learned about different stages in life and how they affect the body?
Our bodies are constantly changing. I think whether aging, children, you name it, lifestyle. Sometimes you are forced to be flying all the time for your job, or you're forced to be commuting. So everything that we do takes a toll on our body. I think the magic starts when the magic actually happens, or it happened to me when I started listening to my body. So be it, oh, I'm so weak now. Oh, I need to rest. What is your body telling you? Yeah. And listening in the sense of supporting your body versus, you know, the culture of breaking my body at the gym. Yeah. Or not necessarily gym, but, you know, you're not working against your body, making it look in a certain way. You're listening into your body. You're supporting it to move better, to serve you better, because you're going to live in that body for so many years. And if you're not listening into what your joints are telling you and ignoring them because today's not a good day to go get them checked, is it's pretty abusive, if you ask me. Yeah.
No, true. And for those starting their fitness journey later in life, then what's one piece of advice you'd give them to help stay motivated and overcome self-doubt?
We have great examples at the studio. And I'm thinking of one. I don't want to mention names, but there's a lady at the studio. She's 73. And when she walked into that door, we were like, oh my God, how are we going to have her in a group setting? This woman today is an example for every other woman in the studio. Her resilience, like she'll do her own variations in a class, and we obviously help her to create those variations, and she pushes through. Like there's no tomorrow. She's my role model. When I'm 73, I want to be her. Yeah. Wow. And life starts in so many ways. I mean, I always think about, and I read it somewhere, in your 20s, you have the health, but you don't have the money. In your 30s and 40s, you have the time, you have the health, but you have the health, you have the money, you don't have the time.
Correct. Yeah.
After a certain point, you have all the money in the world, you have all the time in the world, and you should be taking care of your health, you know, and that should be a priority. I mean, you should start very early, but then, you know, use that free time to take care of yourself and push through. I feel it's a responsibility on our side as studios to kind of be inclusive and make people feel like it's okay to start the journey, take them step by step. Yeah. And that's why we exist, and that's why we started those senior programs. We are hopefully starting a menopause program very, very soon, with menopause training experts and stuff. So and you know, menopause doesn't mean end of life. It's just a new start, fresh start, a new beginning, a transformation of your body and soul, and a lot of things. Yeah. So we want to be a big part of that as well. So just push through. I mean, there's no advice, I would say. I think, you know, I take it back and on my to-do list and think, okay, how do I support that from where I am? Because I can. Yeah. And it's a good place to be in.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. Rima, thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to add before we
Yes, let me be part of your wellness journey. Let MyCore help you start at least, and thank you for listening in, to everyone that was here for until this point. And just mention Sheconomy to our team, and you'll automatically get a 15% discount on any of our packages. We'd love to be part of your journey.
Amazing. Thank you very much.